Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Care here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is the recap for the week of May 14th, 2020. The current challenge is Antimatter Sinestro. That's a 1 week repeat, and the required characters for that are Bane, Lobo, and Black Adam, so silver, gold, and silver respectively. The passive is Fear Me. When Sinestro performs Death from Above, 2 bars of power are drained from the opponent, and the opponent is forced to tag out. 1200 for both attack and health. Last available September of 2019.
Right. So, decent stats. I mean, it's basically same as last week, Teen Titans Raven, just 200 less on the attack. He was last available September 2019. And, I mean, he's probably a decent card overall. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. It is so hard to give him the fair shakes because he used to be amazing.
He's fallen so far.
Yeah. All right. So, and it's not like it was that long that we had him before that happened, but we've got a video that you might want to watch. Back when the League of Assassins gear set was still broken, the gears would reset the power drain every time an opponent tagged out, even when you forced them out. Mm-hmm. So instead of when you tagged in, you tag them out, and that'll give you the power.
Yeah.
So
you just essentially use special one over and over again.
Yeah. So it was in line with the League of Assassins ability was in line with his passive perfectly. So Antimatter Sinestro being the only guy who could force a tag out, he was amazing.
Yeah.
And that video, we were doing a survivor run with, basically special one over and over again. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's easy to overlook that draining 2 bars of power on special one is pretty great by itself. It's just that based on what he used to be, it's that he's so much worse.
Yeah, and I think the problem is that forcing a tag out is very rarely useful. Right?
Right.
So the 2 bars of power is pretty good, but forcing a tag out is not great, and that makes it actually harder, right? In terms of a specialist, right?
Right, and you force Tantu Totem back in.
Yeah.
Like you force somebody out and you force Tantu Totem back in and give them a bar of power.
Or especially Master's Death card.
Yes.
Right?
Because you're hurting yourself.
Yeah, if anybody else has Master's Death card, it's pretty bad. Yeah. And there's very few times where you actually specifically want to force somebody out. Most of the time when you're fighting somebody, you actually want to keep them in so you can, knock them out.
So even when he can take advantage of the League of Assassins gear set, the 2-piece ability, it's a lot of slots to take up for one shot. When he was doing over and over, it was totally worth it. When it's just the one shot, it's...
and when he was doing it over and over, that was before Master's Death card, wasn't it?
It might have been.
Because we were running into situations where every once in a while we would get pummeled for
That's true. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
So that's a shame.
So there we go. This week's multiplayer award is Gingo Fruit, which becomes Gingold Soda, and it gives you a 30% damage reduction from basic attacks. Blocking stops 22% more damage, 35% damage reduction from crit attacks, and the evolved ability, which is 20% chance to take no damage from basic attacks, and that's of course when it's fully maxed out.
So that's interesting, right? 20% chance to take no damage and 30% damage reduction from basic attacks.
So this was last available in November 2019, 58th week in a row of the current pattern. So next week is almost certainly Mother Box, unless the pattern breaks. So we hope it's not, but it's very, very likely that it is.
Right. And just a reminder then that if the next week is in line with the last 58 weeks, we are not going to be seeing Tantu Totem, Claw of Horus, or Necron's Scythe, all of which are significant gears. Does it need to be said? This is a great piece of defense equipment. It might not be the ultimate like Astro Harness is, but it's a really good piece.
Yeah.
And when you use it on the right character with the right combination of gears, you can avoid taking any basic damage at all. And we demonstrated it on one of our unmonetized videos, I think.
Oh, yeah, because it was entirely just copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Like, half the content was just Queen.
Yeah, so the link is right there. Watch it if you're so inclined. It is Regime Nightwing taking 0 damage because he's using it in combination with the Killer Cart Companion gear, which reduces basic damage by 20%, and his passive that reduces basic damage in half. So, in fact, if we're looking at it, the evolvability of 20% chance to take no damage from basic doesn't really come into play because 50 plus 30 plus 20 already gives 0 damage.
Yeah, which is great because, not every ability works like that where it's purely additive, right?
Right.
A lot of abilities would work where it would be like 30% of the remaining
but
right?
I think that's what it used to be, and I think they might have made the adjustment. Like, I was looking at some of the things like crit chance and whatever.
Yeah.
You can't get 100% crit
Oh, do
chance.
they all do that now?
I think so. I mean, part of it is that it doesn't affect the play enough
to really matter.
Yeah, because we've been playing it the same way, right? Try max it out as much as you can.
Okay, interesting.
So for Regime Nightwing, the cool thing is, unlike other characters where you might need a third slot, or on Batman Ninja Batman, you need to be missing a teammate to get you down to 0. He's already down to 0 with 2 gear slots taken up.
Yeah.
So you got a third gear slot to use however you want. And what's interesting, so he's immune to basics, but he's not immune to specials. So you could stick on like a power draining gear like Razagul's Scimitar. He generates power, and his special 1 also drains power. So his teammates can be perfectly safe while he keeps on, he tanks it, and he keeps on draining everybody's power.
Yeah, and your other option is to use a damage over time gear like the Iba stick. Because then it's just a percentage of their total health.
That's true.
And if you're taking no basic damage, you have a special one that drains and a special one that deals 10% of their total health. And it's a nice slow way to get through Survivor.
And Iba stick increases power gen.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
So it makes it easy to get out a lot of special ones, hard to get hit by specials except for when people are swapping in. And, it's slow enough that it would be a little bit painful, but that would be a strategy of getting through a lot of Survivor.
Yeah. One other way that we've used it is on our Justice League team in the past on New 52 Superman. And for him, it takes a third gear slot to reduce him to 0 basic damage, which is why we gave him Batman Ninja Helmet. But what's cool about him and why he's an interesting loadout for that is when he builds up enough power, that will boost his damage enough so that he's a balanced character. He's not just a tank. He's got some offensive potential too.
Yeah. As long as he's not using specials.
Yeah. And because normally we don't go full tank like that because it's almost a waste. Like if you've got somebody who's just going to sit there but can't do anything, it's almost a waste of a slot on your team. And that's it. Really good piece of gear.
So there we go. In the store, we have the Gaslight Batman Early Access bundle.
Early Access air quotes?
Yeah, because... we have him already. He's already been out.
Yeah.
And so that's for $26.99 Canadian. It does come with 100,000 credits. So it's only one copy. They don't unlock in your store. It's, like, in all likelihood, it's what next week challenges, especially because they've changed the phrasing to early access. Right. It would be especially crummy if it wasn't next week's challenge. But we know that every once in a while, I'd say like once a year or less probably, it breaks from the that pattern.
So the other pack is funny, right? Printed on the pack, it says Gotham City.
Yeah, like in the little Batarang.
Yeah, and the words it says Gotham Gold pack. And that's a lie. Well, it's not technically a lie because there are gold characters in them.
It's 1/3 lie.
Yeah, so it has 2 gold characters, so that's Bane and Insurgency Joker, but Deathstroke is a silver.
And that is for $26.99 Canadian.
And those 3, so those 2 golds are among the worst golds, the lowest stack golds. They're like starter golds, basically.
Yeah. So for the same price as, character and a gold challenge character and 100,000 credits.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Right,
I mean, they're never worth it.
They're all in-store cards. Like, you can just get them directly with power credits. Considering there's so few power credit packs now, it's almost a waste not to get the characters the power credits instead of money.
And you'd probably be better off just getting a normal challenge pack. Yeah. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
And in our Survivor, we say as a caveat, because not everybody has the same Survivor, it turns out, and we can't tell if that's mostly just us or what's going on.
I think this account is perfectly clean because we're still getting all our challenges on time. We're still getting Phantom Zone on time. So
that's true.
I think this is probably the right one.
In our Survivor, we have the League of Assassins gear until the 20th of May, 2020.
Right. Phantom Zone is back. Fight 62 is still broken, and in an interesting twist of fate that we mentioned earlier in our weekly Q&A a couple of days ago, not only is it just broken in the last fight where you couldn't see any characters and when you tried to fight it would crash the game.
Yeah. Now the whole ladder's broken.
The whole ladder's broken. So even when you try to start Fight 62.
It's spreading.
It just crashes. So the rest of it still works. So I'm pretty sure it's not just our game.
This is part of a meta story where a year from now they're going to update it and the entire story mode's going to be broken. And then the update after that, just your entire account gets shut down.
So I guess that's the other news, right? Because there was an update 3.3 that was just bug fixes.
Yeah.
And I guess when they mean fixing bugs, they mean making them better and stronger.
Yeah. It's bug empowerment.
Yeah. Okay. Last weekend's breakthrough was the Joker, Nightwing, and Darkseid as expected. So based on the recurring schedule, probably Zod, Aquaman, and Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
Link in the description to a thread or a subreddit where Devlin16 lists them all for you.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to the current glitches, just remember that every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We are Android only, so we're only able to confirm these glitches for Android, but we will mention glitches in iOS that we've seen people report, and especially we'll focus on the ones that people have commented saying they work. So there currently is no working glitch for credits, for power credits. So we talked about this in more detail in a previous episode of our P&Q and CNANT, that's season 6 episode 9, which we'll have linked here. Basically the point is that there is a 2-device glitch that involves being logged in simultaneously into one account. We can't endorse this glitch just because there is definite risk to that. I think our original account actually got banned,
Yes.
which is one of the things that we talk about in more detail for being logged into 2 devices on one account simultaneously. So we're just never going to take that risk on any of our own accounts, and we don't recommend other people do, mostly just because we can't stop it. And you don't know what the risk is going to be. We're not sure if anything's going to happen, but
just because it doesn't happen every time still isn't worth it for how much time we put into each of our accounts.
Yeah.
Repeated past multiplayer season rewards, that glitch not working. Getting season rewards early, not really working. I mean, it seems like there's a way that you could potentially trigger it, but not so that you're actually in the top 5% and getting the good rewards. So no point. No glitch to get through Phantom Zone quickly, although we have a video on how to get through it as fast as you can with our strategy, and it's probably worth doing. I mean, I got some footage of a speed run, and I guess we'll leave it as not a spoiler. What's the opposite of a spoiler alert?
I don't know.
It will keep you in suspense to see how fast a really fast speed run is. And the button for watching videos to get energy is gone, so there's no glitch for that either.
In terms of working glitches, the glitch that you play Phantom Zone repeatedly is still working. And the challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is also still working. That's confirmed on the current Antimatter Sinestro challenge. The reason why we mention them together is they're basically the same glitch. If you do one, you do both. So if you want to reset progress on one, make sure you're at least willing to reset progress on the other. And ideally make it so that you're doing 2 birds with 1 stone, and that when you're trying to reset one, you want to reset both.
Right. We've cut and pasted a comment from viewer Jonathan Yang on how to reset the challenge on an iOS device. We can't test it, but there's been some feedback from other viewers saying it's pretty good, so we're including that if you wanted to give that a try. Breakthrough glitch to let you play repeatedly, still working. The airplane mode / refund glitch is still working. It's good for any packs with random drops, also known as loot boxes, and last laugh tickets. So basically you take your luck, see what you get, and if you don't like it, you re-roll. You get all your resources back. Doesn't work on Android for Phantom Zone Last Crystal because that requires an internet connection, but iOS users are reporting that it works for them, so have at it if you want.
Yeah. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. As always, return your clock back to normal before you finish. And in between not working and working glitches, we have the promotion glitch, which is living in a state of limbo. So that's the glitch where you can promote characters that are still locked, but it hasn't had the right conditions since update 2.14. It's not testable, it's not usable, but it has never been tested and failed. So on a technicality, we are keeping it in there because that's how we are. Take it or leave it.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
All right. And that's it for this week. Thank you very much to our patrons on Patreon who support us. Console Peasant, Edwoon, supporting us at the top tier, Last Word. Mohammed Albshaiti, Your Message Here tier. Shawn, Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., and Irvin Ruiz, who are supporting us on the credited level. And Chris Wolff and Scarlet Enby at the gratitude level.
Yeah. Thanks so much for your support, and thanks so much to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.